All right, welcome. Today on my mind, I want to talk about my prison training splits, right? The methods that I experimented with calisthenics to actually build the body that I have. Once I discovered the half rep partial, this is the keep the tension on one muscle group rather than passing the job along to the next muscle group. Once I discovered keeping the tension on one muscle group, my whole world changed. I blew up in like 2 months. I developed a crazy sick back from just doing pull-ups, and my diet wasn't much more than what they fed me and the stuff I got off the commissary. Some peanut butter and ramen soups, some tuna, but I don't know if you can see that, but in prison I was a pretty big guy, and I did it off that prison food and the half rep partial range of motion. Right now, the way I've been training, I've been just training for having fun, and it's totally different from how I used to train in prison. Because in prison, I was focused on getting as big as possible. Today, I eat a lot of protein. It's a lot of eggs. I eat like a dozen eggs a day, right? I eat peanut butter and nuts, and I still eat the ramen soup at night with a tuna, but I don't buy the actual ramen. I just buy whatever has the least amount of ingredients, and I try and buy organic. I've been eating junk too long, right? Going from not working out to doing something every day, you're gonna get stronger. You just start, right? But if you want to get bigger, you gotta rest. You have to rest. And it took me a long time to realize how much rest I actually need, because the whole goal is to tear the muscle fibers up, let them heal, and then tear them up again and let them heal. If you don't let them heal, you're missing a huge step in your growth. It's so interesting because I'm pretty trim and I'm pretty strong just from not having a set split or training regimen. I do exert a lot of energy though when I do go out to the park and have fun, which I call it is having fun. It's like all of a sudden I go out and I can be like an acrobat for my time at the park, and that's all the training I do. I don't have set anything, and I'll do that, very lightly. I'll exert a ton of energy in like 10-15 minutes, and then I'll feel so exhausted, like I just gave my everything. And that has been my workout recently, and it's just me having fun. I'm like, hey, what do we do today? Ooh, this sounds fun, let's go do this. And that's what we do. Other than that, I don't train. But I'm going back into my training because now I have some new goals. I'm interested now that I have this basement full of equipment, and if I focus on how big can I get with just these partial rep ranges of movement from my current body type right now. I am 175 pounds. I know I look bigger than that, but these back muscles are huge, right? I don't know why. It's just, that's my strong point. Well, yeah, I do know why, because I did pull-ups on the yard pretty much every day. I just was walking the track and I'm just passing along a pull-up bar. I would just go up and do a couple, right? And then keep walking the track. We did a lot of walking the track in prison. A lot of walking. But I would just do a pull-up just because. Like, I would do my pull, and when I did my pull-up routines, you know, my back would just be so sore for like all week long. And if I did not do a couple pull-ups, it was just like oil on the joints, you know. I get up there and I do a few pull-ups just to stretch everything out and just loosey-goosey, you know what I mean? And I love pull-ups, and really, I only go eyes above and below the bar. That's my partial rep range of motion. I like to go wide. So if you want a wide back, you gotta go wide. And the wider you go, look at my arms, right? So that's gonna naturally make my rep range of motion very short. And that's how I got my wide back. Now that 3-day split was a push one day, pull the other day, then legs the other day, then repeat. And it doesn't necessarily need to be in that order. You could start on legs or push back, whatever. But that was how I started. And I started to get size. I really did. That was the beginning of my journey there. And I was always doing the half rep range of motion because for me personally, that's just the only thing that worked. I'm not saying that full range of motion is bad. I know it works for a lot of people. I appreciate that. It's just another tool in the toolbox. If you train the body for, hey, I'm gonna do 20 push-ups every time I go down, your body gets used to that and it knows what to expect. We could switch up this 3-day split by doing back and biceps one day, right? So you can do pull-ups and you can, you know, do some curls with the water bag, you know, or just different variations to hit your biceps. Maybe you're doing some inverted rows and some pull-ups. I love supersets, okay? So if I was on the yard right now doing pull-ups, I love doing the superset in the back and the bi. So I'd be doing my pull-ups and then I would immediately drop down into an inverted row and continue with some biceps, you know, for a day. And we could have done a touch-up, just depending on how intense we're doing our arms. Now, this is for size, okay? Now this is, because if my goal was for strength purely, it would be different. But this was what I did for size. And, but I have something for that too. This here is a power chart that was given to me while I was in prison, all right? Yes, one of the prisons I was at did have weights. It was towards the end of my sentence after I already developed my body through calisthenics. Now, this chart is fantastic. Now, how it goes is, you find your current 1 rep max, and then you follow the program for 7 weeks. And at the end, you know, you get like a 10-pound or 15-pound increment. I know that's not, it doesn't